Hello and welcome to the March edition of Bridge to India's Renewable Energy Tenders and Auctions Update. In this video, we provide you a summary of all major tender and auction announcements from the month. Tender and auction activity remained subdued in March, continuing the weak trend set over the last few months. SECI has consistently been the leading tender issuing authority, floating tenders aggregating 14,490 megawatts since the past year. There were 5 utility scale tenders floated in the month, aggregating 2,760 megawatts. 4 rooftop solar tenders aggregating 28 megawatts were floated this month for Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh. 2 major auctions, one for solar and one for wind, aggregating 1700 megawatts were held this month. Bidding deadline was extended for 18 tenders. Tenders for railways and Rewa Solar Park have seen multiple extensions because of project site and CERC approval related problems respectively. Bids were submitted for Uttar Pradesh's 275 megawatt tender, under which projects would be set up in Kanpur and Jalan solar parks. Now let us have a look at tender announcements from the month. SECI issued a tender to develop 1,785 megawatt of solar projects in Rajasthan. Entire power output would be purchased intrastate by Rajasthan Discoms. We expect smooth progress for this tender with intense competition similar to SECI's recent 1,070 megawatt auction for solar projects in Rajasthan that set a record low tariff of Rs 2. But tariffs are set to rise following BCD imposition from April 2022. Gujarat reissued 2 tenders for 700 megawatts and 100 megawatts at Dholera Solar Park and Raganista Solar Park respectively. The state regulator had allowed the Discom to cancel the auctions held last year in which 800 megawatt capacity was awarded to 5 developers. This auction was cancelled in hopes of a lower tariff after Gujarat's December auction saw record-breaking solar tariff of Rs 1.99. However, the Appellate Tribunal of Electricity has asked GUVNL to not award projects under this tender for now, after the auction winners challenged the cancellation of their bids that ranged between Rs 2.73 to 2.8. Uttar Pradesh invited bids for development of 75 megawatt of grid-connected solar power projects in government-provided solar parks in the state. Ceiling tariff in this tender has been fixed at Rs 3. NHPC has announced a tender to set up a 100 megawatt solar project in Uttar Pradesh's Mirzapur district. Land to develop this project would be provided by Bundelkhand Saur Urja Limited. The tender mandates a minimum annual generation requirement of 203 million units. Uttar Pradesh also floated 3 tenders aggregating 18 megawatt to impanel agencies for installation of off-grid solar power projects on government buildings. All 3 tenders come with DCR requirement. Karnataka's Gulbarga Electric Supply Company has also invited bids for 10 megawatt of rooftop solar systems under net metering on residential buildings in 7 districts in the state. The projects will be installed in Bidar, Kalburgi, Yadgir, Raichur, Koppal, Ballari and Vijayanagar districts. The first solar auction after the BCD announcement was conducted by GUVNL for 500 megawatt of solar capacity. The lowest discovered tariff was Rs 2.2. Winners include NTPC 150 megawatts, Spring 120 megawatts, Coal India 100 megawatts, Tata Power 60 megawatts and SJVN 100 megawatts. Surprisingly, tariffs in this auction did not escalate as expected after BCD announcement. The bids are indicative of bidders' aggressiveness to scale rather than underlying market fundamentals. After a gap of about 1.5 years, SECI conducted a wind auction for 1200 megawatt capacity. Power would be purchased by Rajasthan Discoms, but projects need to be located in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra or Madhya Pradesh with transmission connectivity to 6 pre-identified ISTS substations. The tender was oversubscribed 2.6 times, becoming the first fully subscribed pure wind tender in over 2 years. For pure play solar developers like Azure, Ayana, O2 and AMP, this was their first foray into the wind market. Adani and Ayana won 300 megawatts each. Evergreen Power was allotted 150 megawatts, while JSW won 450 megawatts at tariffs ranging between Rs 2.77 to 2.78. Again, an increase in bid intensity and pressure on developers to deploy capital has led them to bid aggressively. That completes the roundup for March, and we hope it was useful to you. More detailed updates and information on all these tenders, including bidding documents, list of bidders, and project timetables, are covered in India RE Navigator at www.indiarenavigator.com, a one-stop market intelligence portal for the renewable sector. We would love to hear from you. Please send us your feedback at contact@bridge2india.com. We will be back early next month with the next update. Until then, goodbye and take care.